Welcome, builders of the internet. My name is Jessa and I work as a quantity surveyor in the construction industry. And today I'll be talking about what some people have asked me in the comments. What do you need to become a quantity surveyor? In particular, I'll give a brief overview of the role of a quantity surveyor before talking about the specific skills and qualifications that can be useful for becoming a QS, particularly in the UK where I live. As always, you can find my timestamps and sources in the description.
Is building on my mind.
What does a quantity surveyor do? Long story short, quantity surveyors look at the cost side of construction projects, and their role will depend on whether you work for a consultant or a contractor. I go into more detail about the difference between these two roles in this video over here. Overall, quantity surveyors typically need to prepare and analyse costs for projects, factoring in, say, how much materials might cost, the quantity of materials we'll need, the amount of time it will take to complete, and the labour, so how many people are needed to work on the project. If it ends up being too expensive, which often is the case, we can have input on potential solutions to help reduce the cost, as well as managing the money that gets paid throughout the construction process. Every project comes with risk, so we may help out with risk management, as well as looking at contracts. Quantity surveyors may have to negotiate contract conditions to determine who is responsible for what, as well as preparing the contract documentation itself. There are so many other facets to the job which would be too much detail to go into for this video, so I might talk about it on another topic. I've really enjoyed my time so far with the job because I love working with numbers and spreadsheets, which I find takes up a fair portion of my day-to-day. There's also a lot of measuring and looking at drawings that architects and engineers send us, which is a nice contrast to simply staring at numbers all day. I found that there is a lot of interaction with new people, working in teams within the company, as well as meeting people involved in the projects from other companies too. It's also really nice not having to be sat in front of a desk in the office all day, and I find I'm able to go on site relatively frequently, say once or twice a week. So far for me it's been pretty varied as a job overall, and it's been great fun being able to see firsthand when building projects come to life. What skills are required? Number competency. The word quantity is literally in the name of the job title, so as you might have been able to guess, it would help to have a competency working with numbers and maths. I probably would even go so far to say that you have to enjoy working with numbers, because you do have to deal with spreadsheets, data, and counting quantities on most days. Analytical thinking. In addition to number competency, I think it helps to develop skills in analytical thinking and paying attention to detail. With some projects, I've found that I've had to flick through hundreds of drawings to try and capture all the relevant information from this. It is good to be able to interpret which information is most useful and what details might have an effect on the cost of a project, using data analysis abilities for this and other tasks. Problem solving and adaptability. In my job description at the beginning of the video, I said that we may have opportunities to propose solutions to help reduce the costs of projects. Circumstances for construction projects can be ever-changing, say as you find out more information about the site and so on. So in order to help mitigate unexpected extra costs, you may need to find alternative solutions, say cheaper finishes or utilising another type of construction. This also ties in with adaptability and being able to respond appropriately when situations for a project change. Being adaptable also extends to if you're managing multiple projects, where you may have different contracts, responsibilities, and different teams of people that you need to work with. Use of technology. This goes right from the standard programs that you use at school, say Microsoft Word and Excel, to some potentially more complicated programs. We have to do a lot of measures to help calculate the quantities required for drawings, and there are some programs that are built specifically for this, which it would help to develop your skills in, such as CAD Measure, Bluebeam, or even typical PDF readers such as Foxit or Adobe. I found different clients and projects may also utilise different websites for sharing information and communicating, so being able to navigate through different websites, video chatting media like Teams or Zoom, and being aware of any up and coming technologies can be really helpful. Teamwork. We have to work with a lot of people within the company as well as people within project teams, such as clients, contractors, architects, engineers, and so on. One of the best ways to win future work for your company is with repeat business. So by getting on well with your team and delivering a successful project together, it can get you more work in the future. It's good to have a look out for any networking events as well. I've attended some virtual ones over the pandemic, but much prefer in-person events where I find it's easier to get on with people that way. Construction knowledge. This is sort of a given with jobs within the construction industry, but having a knowledge and understanding of the construction process can really help, such as how the process works, right from the project being designed to when it's being built, right up to when it's finished and what happens after that. Knowing about which materials are typically used and most appropriate, understanding the nature of the contracts that you're working on, and other legal matters. It also helps to be willing to learn more as you go along. Lots of things are changing all the time, such as regulations, updates to existing documents, and new technologies being developed. Qualifications. Currently, to work as a quantity surveyor in the UK, you will usually need a degree in quantity surveying or commercial management. This degree is especially useful if it's accredited or officially recognised by the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, the RICS, because it can make the process of getting chartered a lot easier. Chartership for quantity surveying essentially is a qualification that says you are competent in your field, which usually results in a nice pay increase too. If you aren't doing an RICS accredited degree, you can do a postgraduate or master's conversion course if you've done a relevant degree subject, including but not limited to building or construction, engineering, economics, geography, mathematics, and land studies. Some employers will actually support and fund people through this postgraduate course to help you get the qualifications that will eventually get you chartered. I'm currently doing a degree apprenticeship in quantity surveying, where I'm studying for my quantity surveying degree whilst working full-time, and you can hear more about my experiences with that up here. You don't always need a degree though. Sometimes people go straight into work as a technical surveyor or a surveying technician. Then they will study part-time to eventually qualify as a quantity surveyor. Thanks for watching this video. The skills I covered aren't an exhaustive list, and I'm sure there are many others that I haven't mentioned which you can feel free to tell me in the comments. I've found that all the skills required can be developed so much better with first-hand experience, so there is no worry if you're quite fresh out of school and haven't yet had as much opportunity to work on these skills, but it is useful to try and get work experience in the meantime. If you have any other questions, do feel free to ask me in the comments or on my social media, but that's all I have to say for now. I hope it helped build on your mind.
Thanks for watching. This channel is building on my mind. Check out my other videos, but first hit the bell and comment, like, subscribe. Please, it really helps with the